All right, so we're going to do another problem that could be ambiguous case because I have angle side side, but we're going to see if it works out to be that. So what I notice first is that I have an angle and a side across from each other. So I'm going to start by using the law of sines. Sine A over A equals sine B over B. And the 40 and the 12 I already have, so I'll start with that. So sine of 40 degrees over 12 equals, and now the only other side I have is 10. Since that's across from F, I'll have to find angle F first. So sine of F over 10. So let's cross multiply. I have 10 times the sine of 40 equals 12 times the sine of F. And to get F by itself, I have to first cancel out this 12, so we'll divide by 12. So let's go ahead and do that. That would be 10 sine 40. Close my parentheses, divided by 12. I get about 0.535 dot dot dot. I'm going to put that because I don't want to round it. I want to keep the whole long decimal. But I know that equals sine of F, which means my next step is to cancel out the sine using sine inverse. So I'm going to do sine inverse of that whole decimal. So let's say second sine inverse, and then just of whatever answer I just got, second negative. And I get 32.388 degrees. So F equals 32.388 degrees. But we have to be careful because we were using sine, and we know that sine can be positive in the first or second quadrant. Remember, all students take calculus. Sine can be positive here or here. This is only one possibility. That's my case 1. I also have to consider case 2, which would be my second quadrant, where I do 180 minus the 32. So let's do, to get angle F, we would have to do 180 minus 32.388. So 180 minus second answer, which is 147.611 degrees. So these are my two possibilities for angle F. So what I usually do at this point is try drawing the triangle. We knew that D was 40, that this side F was 10, that side D was 12, and now we got for case 1 that F is 32.388. So, and then in case 2, I would have 40, 10, and 12, but this time angle F would be 147.611. Now what you should notice right away here is that, well, not only does it not look right in the picture, but that could have just been my fault for drawing the picture wrong, but if I try to go find the third angle, which would be my next step, when I add these up, 40 plus 147, that's 187, it's already over 180. So what that means is that this case 2 here, it doesn't make sense, it's not possible. So I can just put a big X through that to show that I tried, but it's not possible. So really what this means is that my triangle here isn't ambiguous. There's only one possible triangle, and that's my case 1. So I'm going to finish solving this. I have my first two angles. To find angle E, add it up and subtract from 180. So I have 180 minus the 40 and minus the 32.388. And I get my third angle is 107.612. So I've got all three angles and two sides. All I need is find side E down here. So I can use law of sines or law of cosines. Let's do law of cosines, which says that c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. Obviously we don't have a, b, and c here, but we do have side E, which is across from angle E. So I'll use that as my c's here. So I start with e squared equals, and then I use the other two sides, so 10 and 12. So 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12 cosine, and then since we're using E, across from E is the 107.612. So there's no variables in here. I can just type that whole thing into my calculator. Let's say 10 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 10 times 12, and then cosine of 107.612. And that gives me 316.616. But remember that was e squared. So now I'm going to take the square root. So I'll do square root of the answer, and I get 17.794. And then I want to check and make sure that makes sense. Notice in the triangle, 17 is the biggest side, but that makes sense because it's across from 107, which is the biggest angle. So that's my third side, and there's only one triangle, so I'm done. All right, so we're going to do another problem that could be ambiguous case because I have angle side, but we're going to see if it works out to be that. So what I notice first is that I have an angle and a side across from each other. So I'm going to start by using the law of sines. Sine A over A equals sine B over B. And the 40 and the 12 I already have, so I'll start with that. So sine of 40 degrees over 12 equals, and now the only other side I have is 10. Since that's across from F, I'll have to find angle F first.